Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Students, let's move to the next question. Question number 49 under sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Let me read the question. Cotyledon of maize grain is called 1 plumule, 2 coleorhiza, 3 coleoptile, 4 scutellum. Cotyledon of maize grain. Maize is a monocot. Okay. So these monocots have characteristic cotyledon which is shield shaped and it is called as scutellum. So that is the right option, option 4, that is scutellum. Now what is a plumule? If you take an embryonal axis, it has got plumule and radicle. The radicle will forms the root system and plumule will give rise to the shoot system. Then what is coleorhiza? The radicle which is covered by a protective sheath, that is called as coleorhiza. And what is a coleoptile? So the shoot or the plumule which is covered by a protective cover, that is called as the coleoptile. So the right answer is the option 4, that is scutellum, for question number 49. Let's move to number 50. Proximal end of the filament of the stamen is attached to proximal end and distal end. Distal end is the ultimate end. Proximal end comes before. So that end of the filament of the stamen is attached to what? 1 anther, 2 connective, 3 placenta, 4 thalamus or the petal. Proximal end of the stamen, the filament of the stamen. Okay, stamen means they have anthers as well as the filament. The filament is attached to the anther at the region of connective. This filament of the stamen, it is attached either to the petal, then it is called as epipetalous, or maybe to the thalamus, the receptacle, then it is called as epithalamus. Okay, then it is called as epithalamus. So the right option is the option D, thalamus or petal. Okay, proximal end of the filament of the stamen is attached to the anther, it is wrong, that is distal end. Connective also wrong, connective connects both the anther and the filament. Placenta is a cushion shaped structure present in the ovary to which the ovules are attached. Next, coming to question number 51, seed formation without the fertilization in the flowering plants involves the process of, many times we came, yes, you are correct, option 4, apomixis. Apomixis. What is sporulation means? Sporulation refers to the formation of the spores from the vegetative cell during unfavorable environmental conditions. So, as such, it may be described as an adaptive response that allow the organism to survive given adverse environmental conditions such as maybe radiation or extreme heat or maybe extreme cold or during lack of nutrition, etc. That is called as sporulation. Correct? So amoeba during unfavorable conditions, they form a protective covering around, that is cyst, and they undergo multiple fission and they will break the cyst wall, they will come out, isn't it? Now budding, you already know, there is a small outgrowth as in case of yeast or hydra, exogenous budding in hydra, correct? So the small outgrowth which arises from the parental plant and which can detach from the parental plant and can lead independent life, that is called as the budding. Somatic hybridization. Somatic hybridization. Somatic means what? Somatic means somatic cells, body cells. Hybridization. By hybridizing means there is one somatic cell having particular character. There is another somatic cell is having particular character. The two protoplasm of these somatic cells are fused. Okay, and formed a hybrid, that is called a somatic hybridization. Actually, that chapter is deleted totally. That chapter is and strategies for enhancement of food production. In that you will study. Okay, that is the somatic hybridization. Let's move to question number 52. What is question number 52? In majority of angiosperms, majority of the angiosperm, options are: reduction division occur in the megaspore mother cell, small central cell is present in the embryo sac, egg has a filiform apparatus, or there are numerous antipodal cells. Majority of the angiosperms means the flowering plants. Reduction division occurs in the megaspore mother cell, MMC, and that megaspore mother cell after reduction division or meiosis gives rise to the formation of 4 megaspores which are haploid. Out of 4 haploid megaspores, 3 will degenerate and there will be only one functional megaspore which later develops into the female gametophyte or embryo sac carrying the embryo. So that is the right option. See the option 2, a small central cell is present in the embryo sac. No, the central cell is very large, it is not small. See the third option, egg has a filiform apparatus. Egg is not having any filiform apparatus. Okay. So there are synergids and the egg cells. Okay. And that together forms the filiform apparatus. That together forms the egg apparatus. Okay. So synergids, from the synergids out comes finger-like projections. Those are called as the filiform apparatus. Let's move to, okay, there are numerous antipodal cells. No, there are how numerous antipodal cells? There are only 3 antipodal cells. How can be numerous? So that also is not a correct option. So coming to question number 53, pollination in water, what do you call? Hydrophily. Okay. In water hyacinth, the scientific name is Eichhornia, terror of Bengal, Eichhornia. And water lily is brought about by the agency of pollination in water hyacinth and water lily is brought by the agency of, I told pollination in water is called as hydrophily, but do you think water hyacinth and water lily, the pollination is hydrophily? Let's analyze this question. Water hyacinth has a single spike. Spike is a type of inflorescence. Okay, it's a type of racemose inflorescence. So the single spike not here, this is the branch of the inflorescence which bears the flowers. The older flowers are at the bottom and the younger flowers are at the top. The older flowers are at the bottom, having opens first. All the flowers are having they are bracteate. Okay, so the older flowers will open first, then the younger flowers. Older flowers are at the base and the younger flowers are at the top. So this arrangement is called as acropetal succession. It looks like a spiky hair, so it is called spike inflorescence. So this is spike inflorescence. So water hyacinth has a single spike of 8 to 15 conspicuous attractive flowers. How many flowers they have? 8 to 15, very conspicuous, very attractive, very visible flowers which attract the bees. Bees are what? Insects. And other insects. So the insects pollinate them. So the plant is an aquatic weed. Though it is aquatic, The pollination takes place through insects. So what do you call pollination through insects? Yes, it is entomophily. Study of insects called as entomology. Pollination by insects is called as entomophily. Okay. Coming to water lily. Water lily is also an aquatic plant. Do you expect hydrophily? Obviously you expect, but with large conspicuous colored flowers they have. Most of the species are bee pollinated, pollinated by the bees, except very few species pollinated by the wind. Pollination through wind is called as anemophily, anemometer, which is used to measure the speed of the wind. Okay, so insect pollinated flowers have colored petals with very big size. Petals attract the bees, and they have very rich fragrance, scented. The flowers, petals are very scented, and they have the nectars. Definitely these are the properties which can attract the insects, which bring about the pollination in them. So further, the water lily is actinomorphic flower, means it is radially symmetrical. Any plane, any radial plane which passes through the central axis divides the flower into equal halves. So it is actinomorphic flower and produce large number of stamens. Large number of stamens to favor once again the anemophily or wind pollination. So either insect pollination or wind pollination takes place in these water plants like water hyacinth and water lily, not the hydrophily. So now don't mark as hydrophily, very important question, mark it as important question. So it is either insects or wind. Option 4 is the right one. Let's move to question number 54. Pollen grains are generally spherical. Measuring about, what is the measurement of the pollen grains? It is option C, 25 to 50 micrometers. 1 micrometer is equal to 10 to the power of minus 6 meter. So the right option is, this is factual based question. So no explanation is required for this. Only option 3rd is the right answer. Moving to question number 55. If a tetraploid plant, tetraploid means 4n, haploid n, diploid 2n, triploid 3n, tetraploid 4n. If a tetraploid plant contains 48 chromosomes in the nucellus, nucellus is the nutritive tissue surrounding the embryo sac, then the number of chromosomes in the egg cell and in a synergid respectively, how many? Tetraploid 4n is equal to 48, it is given. So n is equal to what? N is equal to 12. N is equal to 12. So during the formation of the egg, the chromosome number will reduce to half the initial number of chromosomes. So 48 idre, so ಅದು ಹಾಫಿಗೆ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ 2n becomes 24. ಸೊ ಎಗ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕು? ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ synergids also, correct? So in synergids also they have 2n is equal to 24. So both in case of egg as well as in case of synergids, you know, 24 chromosomes. So dear students, the right option is the option 2, 24 and 24. Got it? Next, question number 56. Which of the following characters is not required for autogamy to occur? Autogamy ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Once again it is a self pollination. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ autogamy ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಡ? Not required. Options are 1. Flowers should be bisexual. It is the right option. Flowers should be bisexual. Is it? Which of the following character is not required? So it is required. Next, anthers and stigma should lie close to each other. Yes, then it ensures the self pollination. Third one, flowers require synchrony. in pollen release and stigma maturation. ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ pollen release ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಾಗೆ ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ stigma ಕೂಡ maturation ಆಗಬೇಕು. So there must be a synchronization between the release of the pollen grains and the receptivity of the stigma or maturation of the stigma. So all these characters which favors the autogamy or the self-pollination. Let's see the fourth option, required pollination agents. Why? They don't require pollination agents. If they are unisexual flowers and these flowers are present on the separate plants, then they may require the pollinating agents. Otherwise they don't require, because they are self-pollinated flowers, bisexual flowers. Okay, so for the question 56, the right option is the option 4, required pollination agents is incorrect option. Let's move to question number 57. Flowers which have single ovule in the ovary and are packed into inflorescence are usually pollinated by, let's understand the question. Flowers which have single ovule, ovule will later develops into seed, so only one ovule is there inside the ovary, ovary will later develops into a fruit. Okay, these are packed into inflorescence. Inflorescence is the branch of the plant which bear the flowers. They are usually pollinated by whether water or whether it is bee or through wind or by bat. What is the right option? Yes, it is through wind. That is called anemophily. All these characters are favored for the wind pollination to occur, for the anemophily to occur. That is only one ovule in the ovary and are packed into inflorescence, making the weight of the inflorescence very light. Pollination through water is called as hydrophily. Pollination through bee, bee is an insect, it is called as entomophily. Pollination through bat, it is called as chirapterophily. Pollination through bat is chirapterophily. Through water, it is hydrophily. Through wind, it is anemophily. Through bee, bee is an insect. Bee is an insect, it's called as entomophily. So the right option is the option 3. Let's move to question number 58. Double fertilization is exhibited by 1 gymnosperms, 2 algae, 3 fungi, 4 angiosperms. Double fertilization, out of the 2 sperms, out of the 2 male gametes, one of the male gamete will go and fuse with the egg nucleus, another male gamete will go and fuse with the diploid secondary nucleus. So there are 2 nuclei. So double fertilization is exhibited by the angiosperms, not the gymnosperms, nor the algae or the fungi. So out of the 2 sperms, when one sperm fertilizes with the egg, it forms a diploid zygote, and while the other sperm fuses with the 2 polar nuclei and to develop into the triploid endosperm. This process is known as the double fertilization, which is the characteristic features of all the angiosperms, flowering plants. Let's move to question number 59. A dioecious flowering plant prevents both. Dioecious means sexes are separate or unisexual plants, which prevents both autogamy as well as geitonogamy. We already discussed this. So that is the option B is the right option. Let's move to the last question, question number 60. The morphological nature, morphology means external features, of the edible part of the coconut is what? 1 perisperm, 2 cotyledon, 3 endosperm, 4 pericarp. What you call the edible part is the endosperm. This also we have discussed. So endosperm is the nutritive tissue for the development of the embryo in case of angiosperms. So which develops post fertilization. After the fertilization only it will develop. So in the mature coconut, the liquid endosperm becomes milky and are enclosed by the kernel, the coat. Now what is perisperm? Occasionally in some of the seeds, like in black pepper. What is the scientific name of black pepper? Piper nigrum. Black pepper. Piper nigrum. Black pepper. So occasionally in some seeds, like in black pepper and in beet, Beta vulgaris, the remnants of the nucellus are persistent, and this residual, that is persistent nucellus, referred to as the perisperm. What is a pericarp? The wall of the ovary develops into the wall of the fruit, and that is called as the pericarp. Okay. Cotyledon. What is cotyledon? Cotyledon, which is with plenty of reserved food materials. In dicots there are 2 cotyledons, and in monocots there is a single one cotyledon is present. Okay. So definitely it will give nourishment to the embryo, developing embryo. So with this we have completed the first worksheet of the CET NEET topic, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So note down all the important points, and also take my lecture notes. And students, thank you for watching the video.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.